Woo, what's going on, folks? Let's get right to it. We got our wrestling rant coming on. This is weekly rant where I go on about the wrestling that I watched over the past week. And all the ins and outs that I was able to find, watch, consume, and critique. So here we go. Let's get right to Monday Night Raw. So on Raw, the show happened. I mean, it was Raw. I mean, nothing crazy. However, the CM Punk Seth Rollins promo that closed the show, man, they were trading some vicious barbs at each other, but at the same time, they kept it professional, and they really built up this match. It's like, this is the biggest fight. This is the biggest one of the year so far. Year just started. Not to mention, what else is happening on Raw coming up on Netflix. But that was the main takeaway from Raw was the Seth Rollins and CM Punk promo. That was the big one. I mean, we got some things sprinkled in there. We got, the Leah. Oh, I said Leah. Oh my God, baby. Got Rhea and Liv Morgan. They have their match for the title finally. I don't know if Rhea wins, where does she go? If she loses, where does she go? I mean, I don't want to see her beef with Raquel. I don't want to see that. But I'm just curious to see where it's going to end up going. I don't know. And yeah, like I said, that was a big takeaway from Raw. Now on to NXT. Didn't watch it. Saw the highlights. Didn't watch it. It was New Year, so no. Wrestling was not on my agenda for that night. It was New Year's Eve, so I was busy. So yeah, there was that. One thing I will say about NXT, I really hope that when they send Femi up to the main roster, they just make him heel immediately. Big monster, have him squashing everybody. That way you can build him up as a main roster. And Trick Williams too. I'll be glad when he goes to the main roster. I just don't know where he would go. I mean, I hope he don't have the same Mello syndrome where he just, fighting for mid-card title that he'll get in like another year or two. I'm just being truthful about that. So, okay, that was NXT. Now we get to Dynamite. Oh, Dynamite. They had their first episode streaming on Max today, on the past Wednesday. Had their first episode on Max and TBS simultaneously. It's fine. However, the show itself I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening here. I mean, they had the pay-per-view. One of these wrestle things that they had. They had a pay-per-view recently. Some stuff happened. It's all over the place. It is truly all over the place. I've never been this utterly confused watching wrestling before. And so on Dynamite, they concluded they finished that whole little tournament, thank goodness, where people get points and all that junk. Thank God that's over. Now, everyone's after Moxley. I mean, from MJF to FTR to Edge, everyone's after him. But that doesn't make sense because of what happens later on in the week. It's crazy. So they do the deal where her syndicate comes out. They look like wrestlers and throttle who they're supposed to beat up, which is what they were supposed to do. They did their thing. They come out. They look like the legit wrestlers out of that whole company. Everybody else just looks like they want to do goofy stuff all the time with their friends. Then we got them incessantly pushing Orange Cassidy, like he's the one to take down Moxley now. I'm like, what are we doing here? It's just awful. Now, Ricochet, his character has done something different. I've never seen this character done in wrestling before. The babyface who likes to fly high, do all the flippy stuff, who loves doing that stuff, right? Turns heel, but he's turned heel because he's now he was the nerdy babyface that no one wanted to be, that he was the geek babyface, basically. He was like the Steve Urkel of wrestlers, and they've harassed him and bullied him. Now he's turned dark and stabbed Swerve with scissors. He stabbed Swerve with scissors, with golden scissors, mind you. Stabbed him in the head with scissors, made him bleed all over the first show. I mean, come on, it's wrestling. But why? Because at the pay-per-view that passed, Swerve had the crowd, he encouraged the crowd rather to throw toilet paper at Ricochet, which they did because Prince Nana handed it all out to him. So now Ricochet snapped. And then we just got a cluster of nonsense other than that. I mean, you got the Death Riders, and they just kill ratings. Everyone, I've been seeing on the different message boards and blogs and stuff, like the AEW crowd is all enamored that, hey, Kenny Omega's back because he wrestled that in New Japan in a half-empty dome, and he had a flippy do match with his name is Gabe. I forget his name. His name's Gabe. He's real good at the flips and stuff, but I mean, like, as far as like having a match with like real psychology and stuff and telling a story, I haven't seen it. I just seen him do a whole bunch of flips. And they had their match in the Tokyo Dome, and then the president of New Japan, he got up and just started. He cried after the match. I'm like it was so moving and epic and poetic. I watched that match. Omega did 3 dives the exact same way. First of all, you're doing 3 dives in one match. This is ridiculous. It's crazy to begin with. But you did 3 dives out the ring the exact same way. And people were saying like, oh, he's the best. Not for me. Not for me. But Dynamite was just a cluster, a hodgepodge. You got the Death Riders doing nothing and utter nonsense. Everyone's after him. Just get the belt off Moxley. Just someone beat him, please, because this is stupid. But yeah, that was Dynamite in a nutshell. On Max. Then we got our 3-hour SmackDown. Yes, the 3-hour SmackDown. Right on the cusp of the Netflix broadcast premiere. So, SmackDown. Man, it was 3 hours. Whew, that was a long show. I can't even run. It was long. I did enjoy it, but man, the parts of it were long. I'm like, all right, now, get this over with. And I mean, it was great. I must say, I'm not going in particular order here. I'm just going in the order that I remember it by. But I can say this: I like Shinsuke Nakamura's new theme. I really like it. It fits. It's very fitting for him. I like it a lot. Now, on the SmackDown, you had Cody come out on the show, and then Drew McIntyre came out. I will say it again. Drew was my rest of the year for 2024, and what he's doing already in 25, man, oh man, killing it already. He definitely planting the seeds for a possibility between. This is just me, but Kevin Owens, he and Seth Rollins may be doing something together to take on the Bloodline. Because why would you want Roman Reigns back in power? Why would you want him back as the champ when he did what he did for the past 4 years. Why would you want him back as champ? So yeah, they have a collective what is it? A collective mindset to keep him out of power. So they may join together to do it. I don't know. This definitely gonna be Seth's heel starting tonight because he's the heel in the match with Seth is a heel in the match with CM Punk. He's definitely a heel in that match. So hey, I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. We got a new women's champ. Tiffany finally cashed in her Money in the Bank. I'm so glad she cashed it in, and it was great. I'm glad it happened the way it did. Now, granted, when the match between Nia and Naomi, the match they put on, they both try to help each other shine, which is good. I like that they give into each other, and you can tell that Naomi. That Nia really protects them with her bonsai drop because she squatted on her thighs. I'm like, okay, you didn't even hit on her stomach, and then she had to move up to make the pin count because you weren't nowhere near her shoulders. And then when she did it, Tiffany said, "Hey, go ahead and beat up Bianca because you're trying to help Naomi up." And she roughed her up. Next thing you know, Tiffany hits her with the briefcase. Bianca does the KOD on the man. Bianca's strong. Good Lord, she's strong. But she got Nia, walked her, then dropped her. I'm like, that's great. And then Tiffy hit the prettiest moonsault, cashed in. New women's champ. I'm here for it. It is Tiffy time. And Chelsea Green. I hope Meechin doesn't beat Chelsea Green for the title. Meechin, no. You know what? I would rather Naomi win that. Let Naomi be the U.S. champ first. I would rather Naomi be United States champion. And we got, the main event was the Bloodline OGs versus 2.0. And man, oh man, did the 2.0 just mop the floor with the OGs. And Jay took the pin. And from Solo. So, man, they I don't know what's going to happen when Roman and Solo have their match. I don't know if Roman's going to win or Solo. Who knows? I don't know. This is one of these instances. This is where I really like the WWE storyline. Is I don't know where it's going to go. If I can follow it and predict exactly who's going to do what, when they're going to do it, how they're going to do it, where they're going to do it, it gets old and it gets boring. This hasn't done that. This has not done that yet because of so many branches they can go, because practically everyone on the roster can beef with the Bloodline. They're justified. They're justified in it. And it just makes for it makes for great TV. I'm like, who's coming now? Not to mention all the family members they got, the family members that have already been signed to. So we don't know who's coming down the pipe. But yep, that was all in all SmackDown. 3 hours. Solo's Bloodline ran roughshod over Roman's Bloodline, and we got a new champ, new women's champ. Now, that's not all the wrestling I watched, because I did take a look at some of the New Japan pay-per-view that features a lot of AEW wrestlers for some reason. I don't know. I don't know how they got their contract set up where they can just do their job over there versus where they actually get paid at. Like Kenny Omega. He had a whole match over there. Whole flipping match over there. Literal flipping match. Him and Gabe King, whatever his name is. That's all they did was a whole bunch of flips, a whole bunch of moves, kick out of everything. They're bleeding. I'm like, oh. So all they did was a whole bunch of stuff that looked like they were going to paralyze themselves for a duration of time. That's all they did. Takeshita, I really want him to go. Again, this is me. I want him to. He would be amazing at NXT. because he has size. He definitely, like, he wants to get better at what he's doing, and he if they don't break him down over there and just bury him in AEW and New Japan, because he's working in New Japan too, they'll just break his body down and just bury him over there, man. I really want him to go to NXT so he can shine, man. He has some potential. I like Takeshita, but I didn't like who he fought. He fought Ishii. That dude is he's like 112 compared to Takeshita, who's in his 20s. What, you having an old lion fight the young lion? I understand the standpoint of what you're trying to do, but visually, come on, man. Ishii looks like a potato with arms and legs. He's got the little short, stocky body. He can't bend his back really. I'm like, my Lord, man. I want Takeshita to do better. I want more for Takeshita. I want him to be somewhere where he can be utilized and properly displayed as the force of nature that he can be. Because I like him. I really do. I like him as a wrestler. Mercedes Moné and Mina Shirakawa. That match was about as good as I expected it to be. Not good at all. Whole bunch of slaps and them yelling and stuff. I'm like, why is that appealing in the Japanese? Why is that appealing in the Japanese style of wrestling? I'm just yelling and beating the crap out and fake hitting each other, then really slapping each other, and then fake forearming each other. I'm like, what? That don't even make any logical sense. But she won, so now she has 4 titles. So if you heard an insufferable Mercedes promo before, if her promos were insufferable before, just imagine what they're gonna be like now that she has 4 titles. You know, that's what happens when you have creative control. And yeah, so there you go. But that is all of the wrestling I watched over this past week. I'd say, I give it an A. I give it an A because, now granted, when I talk about AEW, New Japan, and all that stuff, and they do all the flips and whatnot, I have to suspend logic in order to remotely enjoy any of this stuff. I have to suspend any type of logic or anything like that. And also I have to look at it for what it is. Not anything long term. This is just this match. Because if you try to look at it for anything long term, any story building, anything like that to try to make a star or superstar for that matter, you can forget it. Because it ain't going to happen with AEW or New Japan. They just have a whole bunch of matches, do a whole bunch of stuff, and that's it. So you got to enjoy that for what it is if you look to enjoy it. And yeah, that's the positive I took away from that stuff. So like I said, all in all, an A when it comes to wrestling for me this past week. Well, we got Netflix for Raw, 3 hours. So let's see where that goes. And then we got AEW on Max this coming Wednesday. 3 hour SmackDown again. So hey, we got a whole lot of wrestling this week. So y'all, let's keep it posting. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what you hated, what you loved. And are you looking forward to the Netflix jump for WWE for Raw? Y'all let me know. Stay tuned. Oh, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Comment, share these posts. Yeah, that way we can keep the channel growing, y'all. And hey, much love. Appreciate it.